Ladies and gentlemen, success is not built on luck. It's built on a formula anyone can follow. Your life will only change the day you decide to demand more from yourself. Too many people drift through life without a clear sense of what they truly want, following the expectations of others rather than their own vision. And change begins with clarity. When you decide exactly who you want to be and where you want to go, you stop settling for less. The standards you set for yourself become the guiding force that shapes your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. Most people settle for mediocrity because it feels comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of growth. The truth is, every breakthrough in life requires refusing to accept good enough. Motivation may get you started, but it is discipline that keeps you moving forward when it's no longer easy. The higher you raise your standards, the less tolerance you will have for excuses, procrastination, or half-hearted effort. It is only when you hold yourself to a higher level that you begin to discover how much more you are capable of. Your surroundings also play a powerful role in shaping your standards. If you spend your time with people who accept average, you will soon do the same. But when you choose to surround yourself with excellence, with people who inspire and challenge you, your standards naturally rise. Along the way, you will encounter pain, failure, and setbacks, but these are not signs to quit. They are signals that you are being called to grow. Every obstacle can either break you or fuel you, depending on the standards you've set for how you respond. In the end, raising your standards is not just about achieving more, it is about becoming more. It means taking full responsibility for your choices, committing to lifelong growth, and ensuring your actions align with your words. Life will always give you what you demand of yourself, nothing less. The moment you decide to hold yourself to higher standards, you begin to step into the person you were meant to be. Your future doesn't depend on chance. It depends on the standards you choose today. Your life will only transform when you decide that the level you are living at right now is no longer enough. Real change does not come from wishing, waiting, or hoping that things will be different. It comes from creating a vision of the life you truly want and then raising your expectations of what you will accept for yourself. If you are not clear about your direction, you will keep drifting in circles. The moment you define what you want and hold yourself accountable to higher standards, you begin to reshape your destiny step by step. Too often people settle for less than they deserve because it feels safe and familiar. Staying in the comfort zone may bring temporary ease, but it kills long-term growth. Life demands more from those who want to rise, and that demand is discipline. Motivation might excite you for a moment, but discipline carries you through when excitement disappears. When you raise the bar for yourself and refuse to tolerate excuses or half-efforts, you discover strength, courage, and ability that you never knew existed within you. The people and environment around you also determine how high your standards can go. If you spend your days with those who accept average, you will soon lower your expectations to match theirs. But if you surround yourself with ambitious, driven, and purposeful people, you will naturally raise your game. Along the way, pain, obstacles, and failures will test your resolve. These moments are not signals to stop, but opportunities to grow. Each setback can either break you or build you, depending on the standards you choose to uphold in the face of difficulty. Ultimately, raising your standards is not just about achieving bigger goals, it is about becoming a stronger, more disciplined, and more intentional version of yourself. It requires taking full responsibility for your life, aligning your actions with your words, and refusing to accept anything less than your true potential. Life will always meet you at the level of your standards, not your desire. The day you decide to demand more from yourself is the day your transformation begins, and from that moment forward, your life will never be the same. Motivation is powerful, but it comes and goes like the weather. One day you may feel unstoppable, ready to conquer the world, and the next day you might struggle to even take the first step. Relying only on motivation keeps you trapped in a cycle of starting and stopping, moving forward and then falling back. That is why discipline is far more important. Discipline is the steady force that keeps you moving even when you don't feel inspired. It is the quiet decision to act regardless of mood, regardless of obstacles, and regardless of how comfortable it feels in the moment. When you build discipline, you free yourself from the limitations of temporary feelings. You no longer wait for the perfect time, the right mindset, or the spark of motivation to push you. Instead, you create consistency, and consistency produces results that no burst of inspiration ever could. Discipline transforms your actions into habits and your habits into your lifestyle. It is not glamorous and it is not always exciting, but it is the difference between those who wish for change and those who actually achieve it. Every successful person has learned to lean on discipline more than motivation. They understand that showing up every single day, whether they feel like it or not, is what creates progress. Discipline allows you to train your mind and body to follow through on your commitments, no matter the circumstances. When you depend on discipline, setbacks no longer derail you, distractions lose their power, and laziness cannot control you. You gain the ability to keep moving forward when others would give up. In the end, motivation may spark the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. It is the standard you set for yourself when you decide that excuses are no longer acceptable. Discipline is proof that you value your future more than your comfort in the present. The moment you commit to living by discipline instead of waiting on motivation, you step into a life of progress, growth, and unstoppable momentum. That decision alone can change everything about the direction of your life. The people you spend the most time with influence your thoughts, your actions, and even your level of ambition. If you are constantly surrounded by individuals who accept mediocrity, complain about their circumstances, or make excuses, it becomes easy to adopt the same mindset. Human beings naturally adapt to their environment, and if that environment is limited, your growth will be limited too. This is why being intentional about the company you keep is so important when it comes to raising your standards. When you surround yourself with people who live with purpose, discipline, and vision, their energy begins to affect you in a positive way. You start to think bigger, push harder, and believe in greater possibilities. Their habits and mindset create an environment where success feels natural and attainable. Just as negativity spreads quickly, so does ambition, courage, and confidence. By staying close to those who inspire you, you are constantly reminded that more is possible. At the same time, surrounding yourself with excellence means more than just being around successful people. It also means seeking out those who will challenge you, hold you accountable, and refuse to let you settle for less. These are the people who won't let you hide behind excuses or stay comfortable in your current state. They will push you to do better, not because they are against you, but because they believe in the potential you sometimes forget you have. Over time, the environment you choose shapes your destiny. If you walk with people who are committed to growth, you will grow. If you walk with people who constantly limit themselves, you will eventually limit yourself too. Choosing to surround yourself with excellence is one of the most powerful decisions you can make because it raises your standards without you even realizing it. You begin to expect more, to demand more, and to live at a level that once seemed out of reach. You said, taking full responsibility for your life is the foundation of real change. Many people spend years blaming their past, their circumstances, or other people for where they are. They point to luck, timing, or unfair situations as reasons for their lack of progress. While these things may have influence, they are never the ultimate deciding factor. The truth is, the moment you stop shifting blame and start owning your choices, you gain the power to shape your future. Responsibility puts control back into your own hands. When you accept responsibility, you stop waiting for others to fix your problems or for life to magically improve. You begin to see that every decision you make, no matter how small, is either moving you closer to your goals or pulling you further away. This realization can feel heavy at first because it means there is no one else to blame. But it is also liberating. It means you are not powerless. It means you have the ability to take control and direct your life where you want it to go. Living with full responsibility also changes how you respond to setbacks. Instead of saying, "This happened to me," you begin asking, "What can I learn from this, and how can I respond better next time?" This shift in thinking transforms obstacles into lessons and failures into stepping stones. By taking ownership of both your successes and your mistakes, you develop resilience. You stop being a victim of circumstances and instead become the author of your own story. Over time, responsibility becomes a standard that guides your action. You no longer make excuses or hide behind distractions. You understand that the quality of your life depends on the quality of the choices you make every single day. By choosing responsibility, you choose growth, freedom, and the power to create the life you desire. It is not always easy, but it is the only path that leads to true success and lasting fulfillment. Raising the bar daily is one of the most powerful ways to create lasting transformation. Change does not usually happen in one dramatic leap, but in consistent small steps that build on each other. When you decide that every day must count, you start to view each moment as an opportunity to grow. Even minor adjustments in your habits, your mindset, and your choices begin to compound over time, eventually creating a level of progress that feels extraordinary. It all starts with refusing to let today look exactly like yesterday. The danger of staying the same is that comfort becomes a silent trap. If you are not intentionally challenging yourself, you will naturally fall into patterns that keep you stuck where you are. Raising the bar daily forces you to stretch beyond your limits, whether that means learning something new, pushing harder in your work, or simply improving how you handle your responsibility. These small increases in effort may seem insignificant in the moment, but they are the seeds of future success. Progress is not about perfection, but about refusing to stay stagnant. Each time you set higher expectations for yourself, you strengthen your confidence and prove that you are capable of more. This habit builds momentum, and momentum creates breakthroughs. When you train yourself to seek improvement every single day, you stop waiting for big opportunities and instead create them through consistent growth. In time, the practice of raising the bar becomes part of your identity. You no longer need to push yourself from the outside because excellence has become your standard. Others may be content with staying the same, but you will continue to grow because it is simply who you are. By committing to improve just a little each day, you design a future that is far greater than your past, and you guarantee that your life will always be moving forward. Pain is something every person experiences, but the way you respond to it determines whether it becomes your weakness or your strength. Challenges, failures, and disappointments are not signs that you should quit. They are signals that you are being tested for the next level of your growth. Every struggle you face holds within it an opportunity to rise higher, but only if you choose to see it that way. Pain is not the end of the road, it is often the very beginning of transformation. When you learn to use pain as fuel, setbacks stop breaking you and start building you. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you begin to ask, "What can this teach me?" This mindset shift allows you to take control of your struggles and turn them into lessons that strengthen your character. Many people run from pain, but those who grow are the ones who face it, learn from it, and use it to become stronger than before. Pain becomes a teacher that shows you what you are truly capable of. Every success story is filled with moments of pain and difficulty. Behind every achievement lies a series of failures, rejections, and struggles that could have ended the journey. What separates those who succeed from those who give up is not the absence of pain, but the ability to endure it and turn it into motivation. Pain sharpens your focus, deepens your resilience, and reminds you how much you truly want to succeed. It becomes the very energy that keeps you moving when everything else tries to hold you back. In time, the pain you once feared becomes the reason you are stronger, wiser, and more determined. You stop seeing challenges as punishments and start seeing them as preparation. Each difficulty you face adds another layer of strength, teaching you that you can overcome far more than you imagine. By choosing to use pain as fuel instead of letting it defeat you, you turn every obstacle into a stepping stone toward the life you want. Pain, when embraced and understood, becomes one of the greatest powers you can carry on your journey of growth. Committing to lifelong learning is one of the greatest decisions you can make for your future. The world is constantly changing, and those who refuse to grow are quickly left behind. Knowledge opens doors to opportunities that would otherwise remain hidden, and skills create confidence that allows you to face challenges with strength. When you decide that learning will never stop, you give yourself the advantage of always being prepared for whatever life places in front of you. Learning is not limited to classrooms or formal education. It is a daily process of observing, reading, listening, and applying. Every experience, good or bad, carries a lesson that can help you grow. Every person you meet knows something you don't, and every challenge you face gives you a chance to discover new solutions. When you approach life with curiosity, you begin to see that growth is available everywhere. This mindset makes progress natural instead of forced. Another benefit of lifelong learning is adaptability. The world rewards those who evolve because change is constant. Technology, industries, and even personal circumstances can shift overnight, and only those who are willing to learn quickly can stay ahead. By making learning your standard, you ensure that you are always ready to adjust, to improve, and to create new paths when old ones close. It is not intelligence alone that creates success, but the willingness to keep expanding what you know. Over time, lifelong learning shapes your character. It keeps you humble, because you realize there is always more to discover. It keeps you hungry, because every new skill or piece of knowledge opens a vision of new possibilities. And it keeps you growing, because progress never feels like a destination but an ongoing journey. By committing to learning every day, you build a life that is rich with growth, filled with opportunities, and unstoppable in the face of change. It is easy to talk about dreams, goals, and ambitions, but words without action mean very little. Many people promise themselves and others that they will change, achieve, or improve, yet their daily choices show something completely different. Real growth begins when you decide that your actions will match your words. Integrity is not about what you say you want. It is about proving it through consistent behavior. When your actions and your words are aligned, you create trust, not only with others but also with yourself. Living with integrity requires honesty and discipline. It means being willing to do the hard work even when nobody is watching, and keeping promises even when it is inconvenient. The person who only talks about goals may sound convincing for a while, but the person who shows results through action earns respect and influence. When you hold yourself to the standard of living what you speak, you stop wasting energy on empty promises and start building a life that others can clearly see. Aligning your actions with your words also strengthens your confidence. Each time you follow through on what you said you would do, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. This builds inner strength and removes the doubt that often holds people back. On the other hand, when your actions do not match your words, you begin to lose belief in yourself. Confidence is not built by talking about change. It is built by showing up day after day in alignment with your vision. Deciding who you will become is not about chasing external achievements, but about setting an inner standard for the kind of person you want to be. Too often people think life will change once they get a promotion, earn more money, or gain recognition, but real change begins within. The type of character you build, the values you hold, and the choices you make each day create the foundation for everything else. When you take the time to decide who you are and who you want to grow into, you stop leaving your life to chance and start leading it with purpose. The decision of who you will become shapes the way you think, speak, and act. If you see yourself as someone who is strong, disciplined, and focused, your daily habits will begin to reflect those qualities. On the other hand, if you see yourself as limited, weak, or incapable, your actions will unconsciously align with that belief. Identity sets the tone for your behavior, and behavior creates results. That is why raising your standards must begin with deciding the identity you choose to embrace. Once you define the person you want to become, every situation becomes an opportunity to live in alignment with that vision. Challenges stop being obstacles and start becoming tests of character. Success is no longer measured only by what you achieve, but by how closely your actions reflect the person you have chosen to be. This shift allows you to grow with confidence because you are not chasing an image, you are living your truth. In the end, the results you achieve are simply the outcome of the person you decided to become. If you choose to live with discipline, integrity, and resilience, your life will naturally reflect those qualities in every area. This is why raising your standards is so powerful. It is not about doing more, it is about being. The moment you make the decision about who you will become, your path becomes clearer, your actions become stronger, and your life begins to rise to the level of that choice. Remember, your mind holds the key. Think it, believe it, and achieve it.